If you've been feeling flat, foggy, unmotivated, or just not quite yourself lately, I want you to hear this clearly. It might not be your mindset or your motivation, your relationship, or your stress. It might be that your brain is literally not getting the light it needs to function well. Today, we're talking about light therapy, and I'm coming at you with the research, the tips, the warnings, because it really isn't for everyone, and specific recommendations. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Workplace Therapy with me, Dr. Abby Metcalf. And this topic came out of my Substack community, and I said I would look into it because I have a lot of clients who use light therapy. And I have to tell you, I am now converted, so I can't wait to share everything I have with you today. I am converted to light therapy. So let's jump in, because I was not using it, and I ordered one from this because of this episode. And I'm going to give you specific lights you can order in each price category. I am not going to give you a link to them because I'm not an affiliate. I'm not making any money from any of these lights. That's not why I'm giving them to you. I'm giving you the names. You can go research them yourself. These are things that my clients have used. That's what I'm basing it on. So, and then I did do a little review and I looked them up and blah, blah, blah. But I am not affiliated in any way. I'm making no money from this as far as that goes. So, and I have a really wonderful quiz for you today. So you can take the quiz maybe and see if you think you need light therapy or not. So I got it all for you. So let's go. And a lot of research. So let's talk about why light matters. Really more than you think and more than I thought. Your brain uses light as one of its primary signals to regulate your circadian rhythm. And I know you've heard of circadian rhythm, and that's your internal clock that tells your body when to be awake, when to be asleep, when to release melatonin, those gummies you take at night, right? When to release cortisol, one of the stress-inducing hormones, the kind of get up and go hormone, and how alert or sluggish you feel across the day. So when your eyes register bright light, and I'm going to tell you what that means, when that happens, very specific retinal cells send signals directly to something called your suprachiasmatic, I might be saying that wrong, so I apologize, nucleus, your suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is basically, I don't know if you need to remember the name, and any doctors listening are just rolling their eyes, so give me a break, okay? I'm not that kind. I'm the other white meat doctor. And really what that is the master clock in your brain, basically. So that clock then coordinates hormone release, your body temperature, your alertness, your mood, everything. So when you don't get enough bright light, especially in the morning, your system doesn't fully wake up on a neurological level. So you might think you're awake. You might be moving. You might, go work out and do all this stuff, but you might even be productive is what I'm trying to say, but you're not fully online. And that's what's blowing me away about all this. I'm realizing I'm like, oh, I'm a morning, I've created myself into being a morning person. I used to not be. I was a night owl. And I really over time shifted my body clock to be in the mornings. And I think I'm like, killing it. So I can't wait to see what happens with some light therapy. And maybe I'll come back and do an update, but that's why you can feel low, foggy, or heavy even when nothing is technically wrong and you've gotten enough sleep. You've had your 8 hours or whatever. It's because your brain is missing one of its core inputs. So, I know, I don't drink coffee. I'm having some hot chocolate right now. I don't drink coffee, but a lot of you do, right? As a means of getting up. And so the idea is that maybe you wouldn't even need coffee, that sort of, that way, because that has its own issues, right? I mean, coffee can be fine. I'm not anti-coffee, but I'm just saying, if you're using caffeine as a means of staying up, the light therapy will likely do wonders. And I can say that from the clients I've had who use it. But anyway, so let's talk briefly about what light therapy actually does in the brain. It works by mimicking the intensity of natural outdoor light. Now, here's the deal. The standard used in research is 10,000 lux. Lux is the standard international unit for measuring illuminance. which is basically quantifying the amount of light falling on a surface, okay, which is defined as 1 lumen per square meter. That level of brightness has been shown to influence serotonin activity, suppress melatonin in the morning, right, that sleep hormone, and help reset your circadian rhythm timing. So in real life terms, that means that light therapy can help with certainly seasonal affect disorder, but also non-seasonal depression, low energy, brain fog, sleep timing issues, and general mood regulation. There have been multiple, and I mean multiple, robust studies around the world that have found that light therapy can be as effective as antidepressants for mild to moderate depression in some people. And it usually works faster. This is not placebo. This is neuro-friggin' chemistry. And as always, I have so much research in this episode, so if you don't believe me and you need to look it up yourself, you can find everything. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find it below the video, as well as the free download. Or you can find it on my website, abbymetcalf.com. Go to this episode. Everything will be right there. All the links, all the things, everything. And I write a blog for every single episode. So if you want to come back and look at your notes or look at something I'm suggesting, it's all going to be right there. Really easy for you. All right. So circadian rhythm, let's talk about circadian rhythm and cortisol regulation, because this is really important. You hear people talk about circadian rhythm like it's, I think like it's some soft wellness concept, but it's really not. It's a hardwired biological system that controls when your body releases hormones. When your brain is alert, it controls that. When you feel hungry, when you feel emotionally steady, it's major. So one of the most important hormones regulated by your circadian rhythm is cortisol. And cortisol often gets a bad rap because it's really just known as the stress hormone, right? When you think of cortisol, it's what you think of if you've heard of it. But again, as I mentioned earlier, it's also your get up and go hormone. And it's supposed to spike in the morning to help you wake up, to help you feel alert, have the energy to function. We call that morning rise in cortisol the awakening response, okay? And it's been studied quite a bit. I've talked about it a lot. But here's the problem. When you don't get enough bright light in the morning, that cortisol response can be kind of blunted. And that means you can be technically awake, but feel heavy, sluggish, unmotivated, foggy. Does any of this sound familiar? Your body's up, but your brain is still negotiating, right? What it wants to do. So bright light in the morning helps anchor that cortisol rhythm. It tells your brain, yeah, it's morning. We're doing this. Let's go, right? Studies show that, again, that light exposure is one of the strongest environmental cues for synchronizing cortisol secretion with your circadian clock. And this is one of the reasons that light therapy isn't just about mood, okay? It's about energy, clarity, physiological readiness. It's about all that. So this isn't about trying to become a morning person. I want to be really clear. It's about trying to get your hormones to cooperate, because when your cortisol rhythm is better regulated, the research shows that people report easier wake-ups. Who wouldn't like that? Less grogginess, better focus in the morning, more stable energy across the day. Think of all the things you use coffee for. Boom. So let's talk about who this is especially helpful for. And I am going to tell you who it's not helpful for. But give me a minute. So the research says if you spend most of your day indoors, hello me, if you work in an office with, sad lighting, also hello me here in my office, if you wake up before the sun, also me, or live somewhere with long, dark winters, which isn't really me, but you're a prime candidate for light therapy. Oh, that's really what it shows. It's also helpful if your sleep schedule is off, if you struggle, if you just struggle to feel alert in the morning, or if your mood dips when the day gets shorter. This includes a lot of, I work with a lot of high functioning, successful people who don't necessarily think of themselves as like depressed, but still feel sometimes chronically kind of blah, or who really need to struggle through sometimes. So believe it or not, it might be a lighting problem, not a personality problem. So the free download for today is a quiz I'm calling Are You Underlit? And it's to help you decide if light therapy is right for you. So feel free to download that. I am always transparent. If you download something from me, no matter how free or not or paid, it doesn't matter. when you download, you get put on my email list. And basically what that is, it's something I call my love letter. So my love letter goes out weekly to people who pay for it, but it goes out twice a month for free. And I call it Love Bites because I'm so cute. And it's really it's a quick thing to help you think differently about your week. It usually has if you like the podcast, you'll love Love Bites. You'll love getting it. You'll get it 2 Wednesdays a month. That's it. Nothing else. I don't sell you anything in that love letter. I don't try to convert you to something. Nothing. I promise. There's no bad intention there. It's really meant to help you stay motivated, inspired during your week, think differently in life. But if you don't like it, unsubscribe. There's tens of thousands of people on there. I will not notice if you unsubscribe. Okay. So let's talk about how to use light therapy without making it a whole production, right? I'm going to make this simple because, I love you. I know you. And you'll try to optimize this and then not do it. That's what my clients do. Trying to do it so perfectly, they end up like it's too much. So I'm just going to give you the evidence-based, drilled down version, which is you use it in the morning, ideally within the first hour of waking up. You sit a foot to 2 feet from the lamp, 12 to 24 inches. Please convert that for yourselves in Europe and other places in the world, everywhere else in the world. What is with the United States and the inches? Sorry. Anyway, so you sit like a foot to 2 feet from the lamp itself. Don't stare directly into it. Let it sit in your line of sight. And you use it for 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm planning to do it while I meditate sorry, not while I meditate, after I meditate, sorry. Because when I meditate, my eyes are closed. So after I meditate, I'm planning to use it when I do my journaling and reading and that kind of stuff. So that's it. Do it while you're drinking that coffee, you're reading, you're journaling, scrolling. I'm not judging, I don't care. Just if you sit on your phone all morning, I'd rather you weren't sitting on your phone scrolling, but if you are, at least do the light therapy while you're at it. And I'm going to suggest that and this is from the research too, that you put the lamp where you already are, not where you think it should be. Okay. So what I mean by that is put it somewhere, even if doesn't look cute there. Okay. That's what I mean. Put it where you actually sit in the morning, next to the coffee machine, by your computer, on the table where you scroll and pretend you're not scrolling. I don't care. Right. You're going to have it out, and that's it. And consistency matters more than perfection here. Your brain cares about, patterns, not aesthetics. So be consistent. So there's a few things I want you to keep in mind, 3 things that I want you to keep in mind of what not to believe, okay? Because hopefully I've made it clear that light therapy isn't only for, number 1, for seasonal affect disorder. It's not. That's what we always used it for before, and that's a myth. The research base I've already referred to has expanded a lot into non-seasonal depression and circadian rhythm issues. Again, if you have brain fog, you're not alert, all those things, this could be for you. 2 is you don't need to stare into the light like you're summoning the gods, okay? Peripheral exposure works. So like I said, do what you're doing. It's the perfect time to be journaling, something you got from me, maybe listening, watching me on YouTube. Well, I don't know why you want to look at me, but okay, if that's what you like, whatever, right? Any of those things, you can use it for that. And the other thing I want you to keep in mind is your kitchen light or desk lamp doesn't count. Most indoor lighting is under 500 lux, and you need about 10,000 lux to get the biological effect that I'm talking about, that we have in the research. So, and your brain can tell the difference. It is very unimpressed by your overhead lighting, I need to tell you, okay? So let's talk about work. I want to do that. Light, I want to talk about light and work. So work, your performance. So, this is where I think this gets really powerful. Most offices, wherever they are lit for electricity bills, not human brains, okay? That's just the bottom line. Again, there's solid research showing that light exposure influences your alertness, your reaction time, your working memory, your cognitive performance. It's amazing. So when you're in a dim environment, your brain downshifts. Not because, you're lazy or your brain is lazy, but because your nervous system thinks it's evening and time to be off work. So it's really important that you have this kind of bright light. And again, it's been shown to improve sustained attention, your processing speed, subjective alertness, just being alert, task performance, your mood at work. Hello. And here's the part I really want you to hear. These effects show up even in people without depression. Again, I want to be really clear. This isn't a mental health issue. It's a human performance issue. So if you work from home in an office, or a windowless cave, pretending, that it doesn't matter isn't going to serve you. And if you're hitting that mid-morning or early afternoon wall, light is one of the easiest levers you can pull. So like I said to you, it would be best to do that light therapy first thing in the morning, but you can use it anytime. You can use it again later in the day. It's not going to hurt you to have bright, that wonderful light. I am planning to get one for my home and one for here because my office, this office is not at my house. I'm planning to get one for each space. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have it everywhere. And again, if you're a remote worker, if you're somebody who lives in northern climates, if you're an early shift worker, if you work in a cubicle or an interior office, anyone staring at a screen under that sad fluorescent lighting, really everybody, okay, could benefit here. When you add bright light in the morning, you're not just helping your mood, you're helping your cognitive bandwidth. And if you manage people, this is especially worth paying attention to for yourself and for them, because burnout, foggy employees, they're not always overwhelmed. Sometimes I think they're underlit. I said what I said. And for you to be a better, more mood regulated boss, right? If you're managing people, could be really good. Now, let me give you a quick of who should be cautious. If you have bipolar disorder, a history of mania or hypomania, or a significant eye condition, you need to talk with your doctor before you use light therapy. There's really evidence it can trigger mood elevation in some people with bipolar spectrum disorders. So for most people, side effects, if there are any, are mild or non-existent. So, I've heard, I had one client who got a headache and felt a little wired at first. But she actually has diagnosed seasonal affective disorder. So she was sort of moving through that to use it anyway, because the doctor had told her it's normal. It's okay. Just keep trying and see if it goes away. And it did. And it resolved. So if you feel a little wired or if you get a headache or anything like that, that usually resolves by sitting farther away or shortening your sessions, which is what she did. And it resolved itself. Okay, so here's 3 light therapy lamps I'm going to recommend. Again, I get no money. There's no affiliate marketing here. These are things lamps my clients have used. I did a little research for you. I wanted to give you 3 options so you can choose based on your budget and your tolerance for stuff on your counters. Again, not affiliated. I think, again, I'm going to buy from these categories. So, again, but please do your own research. Okay. Do your own research. So the best budget option I found, and again, if you don't want to write this down now, you can go to the website later and it'll all be there or it'll be under the video. The best budget option seemed to be the Verilux Happy Light Lucent, Verilux Happy Light Lucent. It's compact, it's affordable, widely used. It delivers the 10,000 lux. It's UV free. The reviews were off the charts. It fits easily on a desk or nightstand. So this is the one I'm getting. The best mid-range option was something called the Carex, Carex Ferrolite 10,000 lux lamp. Again, solid, clinically respected lamp with strong output, good build quality. It's powerful. It's not obnoxiously large. Most of my clients, this is what they use. That's how I know about this light. So I would say the majority of my clients who use light therapy use this one. This seems to be the sweet spot. And then the best premium option is, and I'm going to try the other one first and then maybe go here because, I'm a premium kind of gal. But, and I do have one client who uses, that's where I got this. I asked around for my different clients. I have one client who loves this one, swears by it. And when I looked it up, again, great reviews, etc. It's called the Northern Light Technologies Box Elite. BOX is like kind of capitalized. Northern Light Technologies Box Elite. And it's like a workhorse. It's like, it has broader light coverage. strong output at a comfortable distance. It's used a lot in clinical settings, so it's really built to last. So if you know you're going to make light therapy part of your daily routine, I would say this is worth it. Or if you know you have something, severe depression or light or seasonal affect, all that, I would say you might want to just jump right in to this bigger, better model. And I'll wrap up by saying, here's my direct, loving, slightly Jewish mother bossy take. If you're dragging emotionally, mentally, or physically, I think you owe it to yourself to support your biology before you beat yourself up about your motivation. Okay? So again, get the free Are You Underlit quiz I created, and that might help you decide if light therapy is for you. Again, speak to your doctor. Always speak to your doctor. If you have any even hint of another kind of diagnosis, or if you have a diagnosis or any hint of a diagnosis, please speak to the person who treats you, who prescribes meds or whatever, or who you talk to every week. Talk to them about this. Maybe, you can turn them on to the blog or something and just say, this is what she's saying. What do you think? Is this for me? I always want you to be thinking like that. All right, that is it for today. I hope this was helpful. I have learned a lot, so thank you to my Substack community for recommending that I look into this. And if you do want to join the Substack community, it's a great place to get early drops of the podcast. No ads on any of the podcasts. My Relationship Made Easy in this one. There's Therapy to Go bundles, so the free downloads. It's all there. And live Q&As with me twice a month. So anyway, and that's for $8 a month. And it's a great way to support me if you just want to support me. If you love the work I do and you I just want to support Abby, go over there and pay $8 a month. That's very, very nice. Go buy a mug on the website, whatever you want to do. All right. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you real soon.